Hi, this is Teri.
I'm Jim.
Welcome to Onboard with the Osborns. Today is December 2nd, 2021. Our dog is going crazy in the background. Sorry. She's rolling around.
She's doing her upside down dance.
Yes, she's doing an upside down dance. So this is our November 2021 video, and we have big news. Do you want to share your big news?
Are you having a baby?
No.
Oh.
We sold a baby.
Yeah, we sold a baby.
Yes.
We sold our boat.
We sold Second Wind, and she went to a really good home. A gentleman from Colorado drove here to Iowa to get it. So he came from Colorado to Iowa to buy the boat and the trailer, and it was a really good price. And it was more than we paid for it, but Jim put a lot into it.
Yeah, we bought it. We got a good deal on it when we bought it, and so we gave a good deal on it when we sold it.
We weren't looking to, make a lot of money, just make our money back. So
yep, did that.
Yep. So 1,800 or 1,600. Right. We advertised it for 18. Because he had to drive and get a hotel room and everything. So, but I don't know if he watches our channel or not, but thank you, sir, for buying our boat. We're excited. So our next boat that we're going to buy will be in the spring because we're entering winter months. We're still in Iowa. So hopefully this spring we'll be on the East Coast and we'll be ready to buy a new boat, or a boat new to us. And we're going to get on that side of things, decide what our needs are, and then look for a boat. But we are shopping constantly now, the minute you sell your boat. And I think we were talking about the happiest day in a boat owner's life
Is the day they buy the boat.
Right, and the second happiest day
is the day they sell the boat.
Is the day they sell the boat. So a shout out to Jim Hughes, if you're out there in the universe. That's the first time I'd ever heard that. And we weren't even boat owners when we were hanging out with Jim.
Why would he say that to us? He probably sold a boat.
Probably sold a boat. Yeah. So, okay. Well, so we thought these next couple of months, while we're waiting for spring to arrive and for us to get a new boat, we would share some of our backstory on our experience on boats. I had never slept outside my entire life until I got married. We camped on our honeymoon. Here is Jim on our honeymoon building a campfire. This is me sitting next to the campfire on our honeymoon. Here is a picture of us seeing the ocean for the very first time, both Jim and I on the Gulf of Mexico on our honeymoon, and then New Orleans, our final destination for our honeymoon. What a trip. And so I was not an outdoors person, quite the opposite.
You became one until Ben hit about 8 years old. Then you said, well, now that Ben's 8 years old, I don't have to go with you anymore, right?
Yeah, but you weren't doing cool, fun stuff on boats. You were shooting animals with guns with your father. So, yeah, no thanks.
On boats.
Yeah, on boats, yeah. Here is a picture of our son when he was 8 years old on the icy Platte River in Nebraska, hunting ducks with his grandpa and dad. And so we were talking about the first time he and I were ever on a boat. Do you want to share? You want to start that story?
I believe it's been, 40 years ago, but I believe there's a good chance that the first time we were ever on the water together in a boat was a canoe trip down the Niobrara River in northern Nebraska with a group of gentlemen called COMA, which stood for Camp Out Monthly Association, from Fremont, Nebraska. And I was invited on this monthly outing, 1 or 2 days out on the river, and I showed up with my wife. Didn't know, and nobody said a word until it was months later. Nobody said a word that women weren't allowed on coma outings at that point in time, but they treated her like one of the group. I mean, Teri's always been kind of a man's woman.
Seinfeld reference.
But they didn't say a word about it until later, that Teri was the first woman ever to go on a coma outing.
Yes.
So that was awesome.
So I had never been in a boat. I had never been any type of water activities. And I went canoeing with, what'd we say, 6 guys?
6 guys. Should we name them, or is that
Sure.
rude?
Sure. No, we can do shout-outs.
There's this dude, these are mostly people from my work, but I remember, let's see, Mike Huffman, I think his first name was Mike. He went in a canoe by himself. I remember Arno Kreitzel and his cousin Rodney Obermiller. I grew up across the street from Rodney, and Arno I knew from work. They were in a canoe. Let's see, Leroy Phipps and Jim Clark were in a canoe. And I remember distinctively, that was the week, that was like a week after the latest Queen album came out, the one that had Another One Bites the Dust on it. And Jim Clark was always standing up in his canoe during the rapids, playing his ortar, singing Another One Bites the Dust. So, yeah, it was a fun trip. It was a very coma trip.
I remember in the canoe, we were in the canoe, headed down the Niobrara, and all of a sudden I heard this really loud noise. And I said, what is that noise that we're hearing? And of course all the other guys were laughing. That was not their first rodeo. And we came around a bend in the river, and it was rapids. And they just said, just paddle as hard as you can and stay clear of the rocks. And it was the most terrifying, exhilarating thing I had ever done. I'm a roller coaster fan. I love roller coasters. And so it was like a roller coaster with no harnesses, no safety belts. So it was a blast, and but it was scary. But it's, like sailing, 99% boredom, 1% sheer terror.
Although we couldn't find any pictures of Jim and I shooting the rapids this trip, here's a picture of Jim Clark and Leroy Phipps entering the rapids. They did tip on this rapids. We didn't tip on this trip, but it certainly was not unusual. Everyone was safe, everyone was fine. And here's a picture of Jim right after we shot the rapids. Absolutely exhilarating.
So it was a lot of fun, but that was the first time I was ever in a boat. And so we've been boating ever since. That's my biggest memory. That and being with, 6 guys and, trying to hold my own.
Bathroom privacy, I remember, was an issue for you.
It was a huge issue.
We were out in the wilderness. There was lots of places you could go.
No place I had ever used before.
Oh, that's right.
You just had
skilled.
you just had to. Yeah, it was tough. That part was tough. But. Okay, so that was my first time ever on the water.
I remember, there was a cable car that went across the river, and it was fun to get out of our canoes and ride this cable car, but it was too much work once you got down to the middle of the river. It was too much work to crank it all the way back up. So we got down to the middle of the river, and I jumped off down on the sandbar. And I remember you were a little hesitant about that process. you didn't want to jump off the cable car onto the sandbar, but you did.
I'm sure if that's the only way down.
Finally, you jumped off. I don't think I caught you, but I said it was going to, but it wouldn't have made sense.
Sure, I'll catch you. Wink, wink.
Yeah. So that worked good.
Yeah, and so that started my love with the water. It really, it was a blast. It was so much fun. But that was back in our heavy alcohol days too. So.
Then we stopped and always had to stop and get under the waterfalls if there was ever a waterfall, and you weren't used to the idea of all that downward pressure, and you had some apparel issues at that time. But
Lost the top of my swimsuit.
but
Very special memories.
it was
Mortified.
fun for everybody else.
Well, I don't know about that, but it was pretty horrifying. Anyway, how are we doing on time? We're at 10 minutes. Okay. So that was my first experience on a boat. Our first experience as a couple, as a married couple on the water. And yeah, that's 40 years ago. So shout out to all those people. You probably had no idea how afraid I was. But it really was a life changer. It was, thank you for letting me be there because it changed my life. Yep. And I guess the big thing was going back again. I mean, to do it once is one thing, but to say, I always say I'll do anything I like once, and if I like it, I'll do it again. That's why I have one child. It's the childbirth. It wasn't the raising part.
The raising was easy.
Yeah, that was a blast.
And the birth part wasn't that hard for me.
It was horrible. No, it wasn't horrible. But, okay. All right, so that's our very first...
It's our first water boat thing.
Water boat thing together as a couple.
I think so.
All right. So this will be probably, of course, we never know what's going to happen, next month, but we will share a little more as we get into sailing, because we have been sailing for 20 years. This was just our very first married couple water story. So, okay. Anything else you wanted to share?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel, and if you click on the notification bell, then you'll be notified anytime that we put out a new video. And let's see, anything else? Oh, we didn't get the puppy up here. Did we get the puppy up here?
No.
I don't think so.
Come here, dog.
There she is. She's right next to you.
Come here.
There
Look,
she is.
come.
She can come up and say hello.
Come on. Come on.
Got treats her?
Come on. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Say hello, Blue. Good girl. Yes, we're glad
She didn't say hello.
No,
Why are
she
you
didn't.
praising her? She didn't do her job.
Because she jumped up.
Oh, okay.
That's a really good girl. All right. So, I don't think I have anything else.
Nope.
Okay. So, happy Hanukkah, happy Christmas, happy Kwanzaa. There's so many holidays that are between now and the first of the year. So we wish you a happy holiday season, and we will see you in January. Okay. Say bye, Jim.
Bye, Jim.